And then we have the issue of, well, I haven't got enough time. How am I going to, get access to this stuff real quick and easy? And some of the things, again, we've looked at is embedding it in the workflow. So we've done examples whereby you can have a little widget. So again, if you've seen Google Desktop or similar kind of widgets, if you use the Mac, they have widgets. Particularly with Vista, you get all these widgets. So think about this little widget that's down there, the right beside my clock, and I pop it up and a little search box comes up. So I'm being asked to present to the board next Tuesday, and they've insisted that I present a Gantt chart for my project. And I'm remembering Gantt charts. I know I did this a while ago, but geez, it's a long time since I've had to do a Gantt chart. So I stick in my question in a Google-like search, which is basically what is a Gantt chart. And what I get is a document, my internal company documents on charts, which is probably quite important that I follow that at least a little bit. A link to an e-learning course, which is probably the place I learned about it originally, but I haven't used it for a few years. A note again from somebody else, check this out, new software for charting. An RSS update again from the Project Management Institute, so I can go to the meeting with, and these are the latest things now coming out of the PMI, and everybody thinks that's great, he's got all the latest information. And probably the one that I should watch most importantly is from the CEO, which is the podcast about managing projects within our organization. So with a Google-like search, what I've got back is all these little links to stuff in my LMS, stuff in my SharePoint or wherever the documents are hidden, and all these other content that may be on different systems in the organization, but it's presented to me in a very, very quick and easy to use way. That's where we think the power is, by getting rid of, somebody mentioned the 7 steps to the content in your LMS. Like, what's that about? That's wrong. But we've kind of accepted it, and what we're trying to do is to challenge that and say, what if we had a way to get at that stuff much quicker? Wouldn't that be better? And then, what about when I'm out in the field? And so in this example, I'm working for a delivery company. It could be FedEx. In this case, it's DHL, whatever it is. And the customer brings, or just as I'm going to the customer, something comes up, and I can't remember how I handle a returns process or whatever it is. To be able to take out my iPod or whatever it is, and to find the information that I need, at the point of need. Again, that's what we think is one of the key things in terms of embedding this literally in the way people do it. And we could not have done that until we had these kind of technologies available to us. I mean, for a while, people have been saying, well, you could run these things on the laptop, but who's going to get a laptop out and boot it up, and it does take a little while. And again, log into the LMS through those 7 steps. Whereas if I can take out the iPhone or the iPod, and because it knows me and it knows the stuff that I have available there, it'll bring this kind of clip up very, very quickly. So again, hopefully addressing the issue of information overload. I'm not sure we're getting there yet, but it's our role is to make sure that we're thinking about how embedded can we be, and if there is technology out there that is going to let us do those kind of things, we want to be aware of that, and we want to be trying it out and seeing if we make progress. 5,000 days, 7,000 days, whatever. It's certainly an interesting space that we'll keep an eye on. But I don't think any of the companies will be trying to sell you this technology just yet with the USB coming out of your neck. Okay, so we've got 3 issues left: accuracy of data, security of data, and then the whole value stuff. So this is a tricky one to try and demonstrate. So I'm trying to do an illustration of the rating process that we're looking at. So first of all, wisdom of the crowds plus ratings of my friends, okay? You're probably a little bit familiar with the notion of wisdom of the crowds and Wikipedia and all that. And I'm not going to dwell on that today. I'm certainly not going to get into the debate around Wikipedia versus Encyclopedia Britannica. But there's lots of stuff out there. If you want to Google it, just Google Wikipedia and things like that, and accuracy, and you'll get both sides of the argument. But the basic principle is that the right stuff will filter to the top, particularly if things like we talked about earlier, that you make sure that it's not anonymous posting, okay? So you make sure that anybody has to post anything, they have to post it through their profile, and therefore, they're not going to be able to do it without you knowing. There's evidence out there to suggest that quite quickly the right stuff will come to the top. What we're trying to do to add to that is to take the notion of ratings, and particularly ratings of my friends. So just take this example. I've simplified it down to 4 here. This could be 400 or 4,000 responses to a search. So I'm looking again for what software should I use to do this Gantt chart. So I got 4 responses here. One from Brad, which is rated 3 stars. Maria Fernandez 4, Sebastian 4, and Tony Moore 2. Okay, let's focus on the 2 highest rated responses first of all. And that's probably the way systems work at the moment. Okay, here's all the 4 stars. But if you get 100 4 stars, that's not really helping you an awful lot. Okay, so what the guys have been working on is looking at, well, how can I put a recommendation layer on top of the ratings? And what it's going to do is, first of all, identifies that Maria Fernandez is a friend of mine. Okay, so she's in my friend network. That's why I have the in red and the FOF beside it. So it knows, okay, this is by somebody that you know. And I also know from the profile stuff that this person is an expert in project management. Okay, so based on that, this one's going to filter up to the top. Now, I'm not going to see any of this happening. It's just going to pop it up there, but it might tell me we've ranked these highest because they're ranked based on them being in your friends network and their expertise. Now, you could probably change that and say, look, I want to see, I don't want to see just those in my friends network. I want to see everybody, but I want to see everybody who's an expert in project management. But those would be things that you could filter out. But what I wanted to just illustrate there was the idea that by using that rating of the friends, you can bring the good stuff up to the top. And that's what it's all about, is bubbling the best stuff for you to the top.